Hola, this is Glenn coming from the Make Money Work for Regular People show. This is your gracious host, yours truly. Shout out to my friends who watch these videos, or my friends to come, I should say. Because right now I'm in the building and grinding mode with very little audience to no audience. So I'm just going to kind of continue from where I left off in my last video, where I talked about saving for your emergency fund. Even though I didn't characterize this next step as such, but then taking the funds, some of the funds out of your emergency fund and using it to pay for the down payment and closing costs on your house. And you're probably like, you guys are probably like, well, Glenn, you just told us to, save for emergency. You know why I got this show. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I'm gonna just toss it. Anyway, so you probably thinking like, Glenn, what? You just told us to save for an emergency fund, and you're just gonna tell us to donk it on the house? Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is not financial advice, and I say that because one, I have to say that, at some point in this video, so I just figure I'd just throw it out there now, and I'll probably throw it out there a few times throughout the duration of this video. But not only for legal reasons, because you have to do your own research into the things that I say, because that's what a smart investor does, right? You know, I'm telling you right now, consider what I say in my show, but do your own research. And who knows, you might actually come up with a better plan than I've ever had. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, I done went up here and then I went broke again and then so on and so forth. So you might actually come up with a better plan than I do. Excuse me. Okay. That one felt. Okay. I think this one was quite relieving. But I mean, I am not gonna sit up here and get on YouTube and say that I'm the only person with any kind of investment knowledge and with good ideas and things of that nature. I definitely believe in my audience to to be able to use a level of use some judgment and some discernment and to be able to study on their own. But at the same time, there's a reason I'm giving you these jewels to study for yourself. And I definitely encourage you to do so, you know, um, because I'll just be saying stuff, because I want followers. No, but seriously though, like, as far as like, from a integrity standpoint or moral standpoint, like, I truly believe I'm gonna be. I know I'm gonna be rich again. I keep saying that again. I'm not. I wasn't rich before, but like it was more money than I ever had. Like if you had told me that I was gonna buy two properties and they both have a combined value of over $300,000, I just wouldn't have believed you. You know, of course you got minus the mortgages owed on them. And that's about 200 grand there. You know what I'm saying? So, and going down, and I think I'm actually below 200 grand. But that's just property. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm cash poor than an MF. Um, and I've had to cash out stocks to cover some rainy day unanticipated expenses as well. So I'm giving it to you raw. I'm not sitting up here doing the happy dance, celebrating millions of dollars and things of that nature. I'm keeping it real with you because I want you guys to be able to learn from my story and create your own story. And hopefully, you never have to run into the issues that I've run into. Um, so, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and continue I'm going to add on to, what I had said previously, which was urging you to use your emergency funds after a couple years to purchase and renovate and repair your first house. Because this is going to be the foundation of your wealth. With that being said, once those funds get escrow to the closing table and get escrow and to pay out your closing costs and down payment. Now you have to start a new emergency fund. Okay. And at the same time, you're going to have to um, eventually work with the contractor that you selected for the to work on your renovation, and you're gonna have to work with him as a partner to get the rehab done. You had to put your input in, and you had to have a relationship with them. As far as maintaining good communication. So now by accident you're actually learning how to renovate property too. Not saying you're gonna be perfect at it. I certainly wasn't my second time, but so now, okay, now you have your house, and see, here's another thing you gotta consider. It's not a dangerous move to tank your emergency funds into a house because now you done bought an asset that you didn't have before. And according to HUD, technically, it's probably gonna by the time what they're gonna say at least when they do the appraisal, way before the renovation is actually done, they're gonna tell you that you know the property that's in as is position, most likely, they're gonna give you an appraisal, for as is condition, and then they're gonna give you an appraisal, estimated, which is always an estimate of what the property is gonna be valued at, um, after the renovation is over. Excuse me. And it's going to usually that number is going to come in around um, anywhere. Like if it does come under, it doesn't come under a whole lot. It's going to come under, about 10 or 20%. You're lucky if you get 20%. To be honest with you, of the market value. Um, but most likely it's going to come in at about 100%, or even 110. I think they allow you to go up to 110 or 120%. This is why I be telling y'all MFers to. I be telling y'all as my friends that y'all need to do your own research just so you can have the exact numbers, because I'm going by freestyle and I'm going by, my life experience, and I'm going by, what I can recollect as to what the numbers were, and the numbers might be off a little bit. You know, I know you can go up to 110%, of market value on a 203K. All right. So, but that's, your rehab could take 3 months, 6 months, or it could take any number in between that. Because again, I'm encouraging you to buy homes that need work, yes, but you want the work to be cosmetic at worst case scenario. You don't want to be knocking down walls unless it's one wall, maybe. You don't want to be gutting to studs, and what basically, I'm gonna just give you a description of what gutting to studs is. That's basically stripping all tearing down all the walls to the point where the next time you walk in to that house, you won't even recognize it, because all you're gonna see is the studs, and that's it. It's gonna be a skeleton of itself, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to get into gut rehabs because they're just way too expensive. And so you want to keep it inexpensive. And basically, even though this is what you call that? This is a renovation house, and this is a fixer upper. By all means, does it, it's not, that doesn't, necessarily equate to it not being a nice house. It could be an outdated house. It could be a house that has some, deferred maintenance issues, you know, and it could be a house that even needs a hot water tank and a heater and central air. Even if you're in a neighborhood where central air is not common, like in Inglewood, believe it or not, central air is a luxury in Inglewood. What? Put it in your house. You just never know what you're gonna do with your house. Like, for one, and this covers, even though I say you never know what you're gonna do with your house, it covers pretty much all the decisions you could make in the future. So if you decide to sell it, well, guess whose house is going to sell first in most cases? Again, not financial advice and not even fact. But if just common sense. If you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and your neighbor has a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, but it's a sweatbox in the summer, guess who's going to sell first? Most likely. So, get central air. It's expensive, but because this is why I encourage you to get a 203K, a house with a 203K loan, so that you can have funds to, make those repairs, and also, juice your value up. Because again, the appraiser is giving you an appraisal based on what he thinks is going to be worth after it's repaired. But you're talking about, anywhere from 1 to 6 months from now, or however long it takes to get that stuff repaired. You know what I'm saying? So and what happens in real estate markets? Markets either go up or down, or kind of, or for a while it might trade sideways. That's what happened with my house. It went sideways, and so my house, stayed at like 110 for a long time until 2020, and that's when everything kind of just blew up. But anyway, you know, um, yeah, you want so number one, just in case but number two, let's say you want to start a family in that house, because right now you buying as a single man, hopefully, thankfully, or maybe you got a girlfriend, that's fine too, you know. Um, but you want to be prepared. And so by making these, important, repairs and replacements without having to go into the hundreds of thousands of dollars is valuable within itself. Because now you got a comfortable home. In the summertime, you're cool. In the wintertime, you're warm. Um, just think about these things. And then when you bring women over, well, your woman over. I'm sorry. Um, when you bring your girlfriend over and everything, she's comfortable. Again, in the summertime, she's cool. In the wintertime, she's comfortable. She's warm. Um, and then you got you a nice kitchen with new appliances. By the way, you can get appliances included in your rehab costs. So you got. I mean, whatever your flavor is. I personally, not only just me, but like the public typically prefers stainless steel. I prefer stainless steel, although I do like black appliances as well. But it's a matter of taste. You know what I'm saying? So now you got a pretty decent, even if you don't change anything else about the kitchen, and you can get new cabinets in there. Okay. I didn't get. I chose not to get new cabinets because I just don't value new cabinets, and then plus I have the mentality of a landlord anyway. So you know me, I'm okay with just painting my cabinets, but that's but the cabinets, I thought that was a pretty it's still a pretty reasonable upgrade, not overly expensive or anything like that. So I just decided to delay that upgrade. And then you know, let's see. So that was two scenarios. Three, you may decide, and this is, I mean, I didn't necessarily do it this way, but you may decide um to rent out your first house. I didn't do it. After I got my house and got accustomed to, you know, um, having my own. Okay, I didn't want to live with no tenants. Nothing against tenants or anything like that. Like I said, I would have done so if I had gotten a two flat first. It just didn't turn out that way. Um, And so I just did it in reverse. That's all. So by doing it, in the way that I recommend, as a person who's not a financial expert or advisor, and who's just letting you know what options are out there that you can research on your own and look into and see if that's the best decision for you. Um, that's what I recommend rolling with. And I would put my emergency funds on that particular plan. And then while I'm, renovating and eventually living in that property, um, I'm also going to be rebuilding my emergency fund, so that, okay, by the time I get to I would say about $10,000 or so, I would be in a position where I can decide to move forward in investing in stocks with that, 10% of my paycheck. In addition to like your 401, you should be investing in your 401k from day one, because that's going to be like but you're going to pretend that money ain't even there. That don't count. That goes to 401k and you don't touch it. You don't touch it until you're at least 35 years old, where you can make a educated decision based on your life experiences. Um, because that's your retirement. So yeah, and so you always build and rebuild your you always build and rebuild um, your emergency funds. You want to have about you want to try to have a good year's worth of experiences at least. By the time you transition them money into you, by the time you start reassigning that money to go into stocks. You can also leverage your house by taking a home equity line of credit. Once you build enough equity in there to pretty much be able to borrow the closing costs and a down payment for your two flat. I would also recommend refinancing out of that 203k into a conventional loan, so that you don't have to pay mortgage insurance, after about a year or so. That'll save you a little money there too. And then, but when you're under, basically at all times, really, your focus should be, building your emergency fund until you can consistently keep that amount a year's expenses, in your bank account consistently. Um, I know there's young investors that are having fun, investing in the stock market, but that's only like 3% of the population, if I had to guess. You know, who is this show for? Making money work for regular people. And so, why am I so gung ho about real estate? Well, if it wasn't so darn expensive, I would buy nothing but real estate. But when you start buying assets and everything, I feel like you start becoming more educated on other investments just because you just be around other people who are more savvy than you. Um, and you start paying more attention as to why it's beneficial to own a a stock ETF that pays you a dividend every 3 months. You know, I mean, if you didn't catch the obvious part of that, one, that it actually pays you a dividend every 3 months that you can decide to either reinvest or or cash out. Up to you. I personally would reinvest while you know I'm still working, and that's what I would recommend. But again, not financial advisor. I'm just a suburbanite that came from Inglewood. So do your research and see if it's right for you. But with all that being said, real estate real estate gives you a return on your money. In most instances, real estate gives you a significant return on your money way faster than stocks. But then stocks, kind of like cryptocurrency, and this is just my opinion, um, is a placeholder for value. Depending on the stock price on the day that you purchase that stock. So whatever the stock price is when you decide to sell it is the money that you're going to get. Whether you sell at a loss or you sell at a profit or you break even. Also, you can borrow against your stock if you need to. Of course, you need a amount of money that's worth, makes it worth doing that. Okay. But yeah, definitely build on your emergency fund at all times, especially the younger you are, because I'm suggesting that you try to buy your first house at 26. Chances are you're gonna buy your first rental in the next, 3 to 5 years. You'll be 31 at the oldest. Now you go from having and I'm just making up a number right now. So now you're going from having a house that you bought for 160. That's probably worth more like 210 at that point, right? Don't know, just guessing based on some experiences I've had. And and so you're buying the next property, whether you took a HELOC or not. I'm assuming that you didn't, but that you were smart enough to refinance out the FHA loan. So that gives you options. Again, talk to your real estate agent. They can best assist you on what your options are. Okay. I'll say this. I know of a few individuals who have gone on to buy their second property under a 203K FHA loan. And why would they want to go through this pain in the butt process a second time? Because it's profitable. Okay? It's profitable to buy property that's undervalued, fix it up, and let time and appreciation do its work. Okay? So now you still have your $210,000 property that's got $50,000 in equity at this point, probably even a little bit more. If it's a two flat, well, you're gonna rent out both units instead of just renting out one unit and letting the tenant pay the mortgage. Now you're gonna make a profit. Just make sure you are diligent about your tenant selection, because if you're not, see, here's the thing. I mean, with rentals, you can select a bad tenant um, when you are diligent, but the likelihood of you selecting a bad tenant is much lower than when you are diligent than when you are not. Because you can still find out things about your tenant, before you decide to sign a lease with that person or that family. Um, like, for instance, the best thing you can do, pre-lease signing, pre-lease signing, and I'm making up my own words right now. But the first thing you can do before you decide to have anybody sign any leases or anything is to conduct a housekeeping check at the residence that they live at. I don't care if they live with their mama. I don't care if they live with their auntie. Get an address where your tenants are currently staying, and go over there and take 5 minutes to look around to see how they keep their prop. I mean, their unit. If they're trashing the apartment unit over there, assume they're gonna trash yours too, and don't sign a lease with them. I don't care if they tell you that their cousin did the damage, or it ain't even your concern to even ask about it at that point. You're not going over there to do a police investigation on who's conducting damage at that property. It's for you to go over there to confirm what you see. That's it. That's all. It's not for you to ask them questions about what happened here. You just want to take a look at it. Definitely look in the kitchen and bathrooms, and then after you're done, you just tell them peace out. You're not there to assign blame or to do any kind of lawyering or any of that. You're just there to see how they live. And that's it. That's all. You're there. And another thing, whether you decide to charge a security deposit or a move-in fee, depending on the area of the country that you reside in, make sure you have them put up that money fast. Um, yeah. Make sure the process goes fast too. Like if you're gonna go with this particular tenant family, make sure, okay, make sure you make it clear to them like, hey, once we're, get confirmation on whether or not we're gonna move forward, with, the lease process, I need you to have $800 in a move-in fee, or $1,100 for a security deposit, or whatever your, whatever your amounts are, right? Like upon signing, and and the expectation is going to be within 48 hours or 24 hours. Like you want to get them to commit fast, because if they not, see, when you are ready to move, you have a guap for first month's rent, moving fee, or security. You know what I'm saying? 1 month security, 2 month security. You be having, you know what I'm saying? You're not brand new to this. Yeah, everybody understands it costs money. It costs a lot of money to move, you know, and like that's why a lot of tenants are very diligent about getting their security deposits back. I personally don't like security deposits. I'd rather just, collect a smaller move-in fee, so that, once everything's over, we good. I ain't gotta pay back nothing. But if you prefer a security deposit, that's up to you. You decide how you want to run your property management business. But that's just some extra. Again, not actually. I kind of am a technically I am an expert at this part, but again, not an expert. Do your own due diligence. Consult with your with your expert, and go from there. But yeah. And then, like, another reason to purchase a house, with your emergency funds, because now that's a sneaky way of increasing your security funds. Your emergency funds, rather. You know that thing went from, the 10,000 you put into the property, or however much it cost you, to now, you can turn that 10,000 to equity, a few years later. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I prefer real estate. But I'm gonna tell you a little bit of my strategy on the second go round. See, even though I prefer real estate number one, because you just get incredible real life returns on the on your investment, but you gotta buy it right though. Don't be spending no $225,000 on a house that need to be gutted. You'll fool if you do that. But like, I wouldn't, like, because I already have, a rental property. I wouldn't necessarily go out and make that my first investment again. And I'll keep going back and forth with myself about this. Thinking about it, but I'm also in the kind of a weird place too. So, like, I don't have any doubt that I can, get my hustle up, and, grind and work a couple jobs and a side hustle or whatever, to get my money, to a place where I got 10, 15, $20,000 at all times, right? But now, this time around, do I want, I'm thinking to myself, do I want to take the risk that comes along with real estate? Because real estate does come with risk. Your tenants, could possibly not pay due to job loss or whatever. Because shit happens with people. Um, and so, are you prepared to, walk your good tenants through, to help them through the process of, getting information for that's another thing. Find somebody in your area, you know, usually through a RIA, but find somebody in your, who's like, cause like, for instance, in Chicago, Jessica Civils, to me, she is the woman. I would say the man, but I don't know if she would, if she were to see this video, whether or not she would get offended by it. But she is the go-to person. Like, if I have a question about anything regarding rental properties, property management, so on and so forth, she's with CIC, which is also a commercial lender, but they give property management classes. You need to know who your area's Jessica Silvers is. In Chicago, Jessica Silvers. I go to nobody but Jessica Silvers when I have questions, and I know quite a few investors, but like when it comes to the admin parts and the legal parts, other than my attorney, I'm calling Jessica Silvers first because she's like a huge resource, and it's an asset just to even know her, and she was able to navigate a tough situation I had with a tenant whose hours were reduced, at her job. First person I called was Jessica because, you know, my tenant was trying to give me the information, but, for whatever reason, she wasn't able to, you know, she didn't remember some of it, and she wasn't really able to articulate what she, was requesting of me, but I knew what she was requesting. So I just didn't have, names of organizations and contact people and stuff like that. So I called Jessica. Me and Jessica had a 5-minute conversation, and she told me what to do. And she, of course, she also stressed very much that I need to get on this as soon as possible because with these organizations that provide rental assistance, a lot of times the difference between you getting rental assistance and not getting rental assistance is whether or not funds have run out. So I gave you an extra jewel that I'll probably do a video on, sometime in the future. But I didn't just gave, you know what I'm saying? And like knowing resources like that could be the difference between, you know, um, you keeping a tenant and receiving rent money on behalf of that tenant versus, going to eviction court or having your attorney, having to pay your attorney, a rent payment basically to take them to court. Like this one, this individual or the family actually. I mean, they're a good family, um, and whenever you have a good tenant family, you want to, if you're able and in the position to help them out, you want to do it, but at the same time, you want to do it with the understanding that, hey, you know, you're still responsible for the rent, but if we can get this funding to come through in a timely fashion, then um, let's do that. But you're still up until that point, you're still responsible for that rent, you know, and yeah, I mean, because the law ain't gonna protect you from not paying your rent, um, even though unfortunate circumstances come up, you know. So, but you need to know these things, and you need to know, more importantly, you need to know who your resources are in your area, so that when you get stuck on something, or when you come across a situation, you can just make a phone call and see, what your options are. you know, if you got a bad tenant, give that person a 5-day notice. So um, yeah, but seriously, if you have a good family and they're good for the space that you're leasing out, you definitely want to assist them in any way legally possible. You know, um, don't be telling them that you ain't got to pay. We gonna wait the process out, because one, you might not get approval for funds. She might not get approval. He or she might not get approved for funds, right? And you don't want to be getting behind on your mortgage, because your mortgage is gonna continue to come regardless of what his or her situation is. You know, what their situation is, that mortgage is gonna come, and you got to pay it, regardless of what your tenants have going on. So, you know, try to navigate, you know, smoothly on this. And it's never an easy situation at all. But at the same time, is your responsibility. Like, once you decide that you're gonna put your neck out for your tenant, to explain what the situation is going to be, um, and what information you do know and don't know, and what the process is going to be. And you got to have them. They definitely have to have an understanding that that they must cooperate with, not with you, but with the process of you know getting rental assistance. So, like, if the if the agency is saying that they have to provide certain details, then that's what they got to do. That's their cooperation with the process. You know, that's it. That's all. But yeah. So that's one option that you have. If you can find social service organizations, that a list of those organizations that assist with rent, emergency rent, and everything, then that may be another avenue that could consider. So, but yeah, and again, see, I swear, I want to get my, so, like, this show, even though I want to give good, concise information. I also want to be known as someone who doesn't keep you in front of the computer monitor or the phone screen, for 3 and 4 hours. I'd be feeling very guilty when that clock hits 50 minutes or more, or even 30 minutes or more. But I did explain a lot. I gave a part two to the well, I don't know if it's gonna be a part two, but you know, but I did go in more depth as to how you should approach paying off your credit card debt and then building your emergency fund as fast as possible. And how it's beneficial to use that fund for buying your first house because it's going to set you on a trajectory that's going to change your wealth position for the rest of your life. So even though I'm cash poor, right? If I really needed to get rid of some property, I could do it. Of course, the goal in real estate is really not to get rid of property, especially property that you live in, or when you only have one rental or whatever. The goal is to hold on, to your own house and pay your mortgage and benefit over the short and long term. And then with the rentals, you know, um, the goal is to get good tenants who's going to pay your rent and cash flow for you, so that you get benefits in the short term. You get a little cash flow. Some they go to repair, some go to you, and then you also get the benefit of someone else, paying down your mortgage. So which makes the property in itself, valuable. So yes, those are those with real estate. But like, if I if I felt like, okay, if I need to get out the jam, I need to get out the jam, and then I can just do another 203K. After some. Actually, I don't have to wait. The only time I might have to wait is if I was sold at a loss. So I would just go into another house when my situation gets better. But it's not necessarily that bad. It's bad, but it's not so bad where it's not fixable. So with that being said, I was going to go. Oh yeah. So I was going to go into what I would do if I could, you know, do this again. The next time I want to, make a decision on acquiring assets once my financial, situation is, situated or approves, whatever. Um, and I'm in a tough spot too because I'm talking about once everything improves. Because right now we're in the midst of a chip shortage that's not going to be resolved anytime soon. Um, we're also in the midst of appreciating, housing market. And depending on how much the interest rates go up or down, or go up rather, um, that might change that situation. I don't know, but I have to consider that circumstance, right? But what I do know, the information I do have, is that we're in a appreciating market. there's hardly any good deals out here for rentals. Um, I might be able to get in touch with the wholesaler who might have something similar to what I like, to invest in, which are frame two flat houses. Because I get it. Like I love the brownstones, and I love the gray stones too. They're beautiful. They're massive, but they're also massively expensive to renovate. And so, with cryptocurrency having made such an emergence over the last 10, 15 years, um, well, no, over the last 12 years, I would say. And with altcoins making such an emergence with their various projects that are very important to society, um, you know, I'm looking at cryptocurrency very hard. And I'll make a disclaimer. I once said don't invest more than 5% of your cash, of your earnings, your yearly earnings, into buying cryptocurrency coins and tokens. And I still feel that way. But but there's technology out here that allows you to invest in cryptocurrency in a much different way, where you can buy a miner for, in my, it's a mine as in gold mine, as in mine for gold. Well, anyway, you can buy a miner, for like helium, for DPR, for Planet Token, and those are some of the, of the ones that kind of come to the top, top of my mind. Dogecoin, Litecoin, even Bitcoin, but I ain't gonna lie, like to buy a miner that's worth anything to mine Bitcoin. And by the way, it's still mineable through GPU, but those graphics cards cost $500 each. Okay, and motherboards have anywhere from, for mining in particular, have anywhere from 6 to 13 slots. So, and one graphics card goes into each of those slots. Now, nothing says that you have to buy all of the GPU cards right away. You can start with 4, you can start with 5, you can start with 3, you can start with 1. But if you have any endeavors to fill all those slots, to, take advantage of, the power that those graphics cards allow you, you're talking about $6,000 just for the graphic cards itself, not including the, the cords and the GPU cords and adapters and the processor and the actual motherboard itself. That's easily about 15 grand, 10, 15 grand. Easily. Easily. If not more. Okay? So that's why I'm not really into trying to start off with going into GPU mining. It takes up a lot of electricity. It turns your room into a boiler room, and I don't know if I'm ready to go to that level just quite yet. On my own. I know I need to get a team. I need to get a IT person, a person who really knows about hardware and crypto mining, and pay that person a consultant fee. I know, but I'm mentioning cryptocurrency because from a mining prospect, now that that asset or that asset class is more like a rental property. It functions pretty much the same, except you know they don't call you, they don't shit up toilets, they don't get upset when there's a mouse in the house, and no, when there's a mouse in the house, yeah, I try to address that right away. But you know what I'm saying. But like these are some of the things that come up. You know, they don't get angry when the the window starts leaking from the outside because the contractor that did the work, they hired two crackheads to install the windows, and you know how it goes. Like, for the most part, you give that miner um, an internet connection and electricity, and it doesn't bother you. It doesn't call you. It doesn't text you. Okay, and that's not to say that nothing bad about my tenants at all. Love my tenants. Um, but tenants are human beings, and they call you and talk. And don't get me wrong, I'm always happy to hear from my tenants, just to clear that up. Because I look at repair issues as an opportunity to improve the property in a small way. So it's definitely important. Don't be a slumlord. Don't. It's not worth it. Just pisses off your tenants. They won't renew, and then too, why the fuck would you want to be a excuse my language, but why would you want to be a um a slumlord anyway? Just why? Makes no sense. Don't be a slumlord. You know, operate your properties with integrity and provide a living situation that you would want. You know, that's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. Well, I just love the way these candles smell. I'm just damn. But but the concept is the same with cryptocurrency. And they have these plug and play miners where they're temperature controlled. Some are louder than others, but they're temperature controlled. They don't eat up electricity like the Gold Shell Doge miner. Um, you have the Bobcat 300 miner that I've been waiting for 6 months now. That's part of the problem of crypto mining. The process takes a long time, but it's cheaper than buying a $60,000 property and putting another 60,000 into it. So you take the good with the bad, or you take the pros with the cons. Yeah. And so just on on economies of scale type of level, right? Just for scale, I could buy a helium miner for $600 in cryptocurrency, and once I do receive the money, because like I bought from the manufacturer. Excuse me. I bought from Bobcat directly. Um, and that's why there's a secondary market on eBay where you'll probably pay $1,500 for one of these miners, but it'll get to your door within a week instead of having to wait 6 to 8 months just to have the opportunity to mine your own crypto, right? So, long story short, I'm waiting on my Bobcat miner. And then, so the opportunity cost, in that period, let's just say during the summer, people, most miners were able to mine um, 10 helium tokens, right? Well, back then, helium was going for like $9 a token. Now it's it went up. It went up to a high of $45 a token. Yeah, the opportunity cost there at the high was 10 times. Well, at that time, 10 times 5 because it reached a high at in December. So so 5 times 10 is 50 tokens. 50 tokens times 45. Yeah, I think I might have to get my calculator out here. So let me just do that. And I have too many freaking windows up. So 45 times 50. Of course, that's if I sold all of it. That was an opportunity cost of $2,250, right? Of course, I'm gonna hold it, so it lost $19, which is a testament to the crypto market. The crypto market is very volatile. That's why I encourage, if you're gonna buy crypto, try not to invest more than 5% of your yearly salary, because it goes up and down. And in order to benefit from crypto, you have to either hold on to it or you have to stake it. Depending on if it's a stakeable token or not. Which I'm not going to get into right now because I don't feel comfortable talking about staking because I'm not knowledgeable about it yet. So now it's been 6 months. Okay, so but the token dropped to $26. So 26 times 60, which is what I would have mined. 60 times 26. That's still an opportunity cost of $1,560. Okay, that's what I missed out on, and I could have broken even by now on the Bobcat miner that I purchased. Okay. So that's why it's important to, take into consideration how long this stuff takes to get to you and how long it takes for you to get started. Um, and then of course there's syncing issues and stuff like that within the first month or two. So you need to take into consideration all these types of things. But yeah, $1,560 in opportunity costs. And I truly believe, H&T is going to explode. It's going to reach crazy price levels. But I encourage you to read about H&T first before taking anything I say is fact about, the crypto space. So that's one miner that I've bought already, for I think it was $600. I actually bought two miners, but I actually bought two Bobcats, but I had the intention to sell the other one. But I might use it, don't know yet. So now the deeper miner, which mines DPR tokens, was I believe it was one, because I got it from Indiegogo. They're selling them there for about, with tax and fees, about $171 before they go up to $199, which will then it'll basically bring it up to about $240, $250. So, but this thing is a producer. Instead of 10 tokens a month, this thing will mine about 10, 15 tokens a day. And I think it makes about $5 or $10 a day in tokens, in coins or whatever. And so it'll take less than 2 months just to break even with the $171 that I spent on it. That's not due to ship until March though. So my point in mentioning all that is to say this, and I'm probably going to do another video on it because just to stick this thing at the end of the video is, kind of unfair. But those of you who watch the whole video, you got you a bonus nugget, and that's good for you. So thus far, I bought two miners. I'm just waiting for them to come in the mail, and then once they come in the mail, I can get to utilizing them. And I know you're probably thinking like, man, $5 a day, that's a joke. But if I ain't gotta do nothing but just turn the thing on and just leave it on, and it don't take a whole lot of electricity due to its size, and you should see the size of both of these mines. They're very small. I'll take $5 a day from any of you. Want to pay me $5 a day? You could send it to my PayPal. You send it to my Cash App. When I start recording live, you can give me $5 a day on the super chats. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I will take $5 a day. Anybody, anything, paying me $5 a day from here until eternity will have favor with me. Because $500, I'm sorry, $5 a day times 365 days. And yeah, I got to get on my calculator. And mind you, um, I'm anticipating that helium tokens are going to be way more valuable than that, and eventually the DPRs as well. But I'm just going to go with $5 a day. I'm going to go with $5 a day just for the sake of this example and the sake of simplicity as well. So $5 a day times 365 days is $1,825 a year. And this is passive income. This is not me, having to take time with this machine. This is just me making sure that these coins, or tokens, well, in this one case, tokens, other case, it's coins. But anyway, just making sure this currency transfers to my wallet, and that I don't do anything with it, other than just collecting these tokens, because they're going to grow. It is my belief that they're going to grow in the value. Okay, and that's what I'm banking on. But even if that's not the case, I done broke even on my on the miners within a couple months. Try saying that about real estate, okay, without having to refinance and take a chunk of your equity position. Like, you gotta really buy right when it comes to investment in real estate. Now, when it comes to your home, that's a whole different approach, but not really. And that's why I encourage you to take advantage of the 203K loan or the Fannie Mae renovation loan. Okay, that's another option you may have. So even then, like, there's nothing that beats a cryptocurrency miner. And then with the Dogecoin miner, I heard something like it earns about $20 a day, something crazy. By and it's an $800 gold shell miner, just crazy. $20 times, you know what I'm saying? 20, and just think about this: $20 times 365 days. That's $7,300 just going to my wallet. Just going to my wallet. And I ain't had to do nothing but turn on the machine and make sure that it's programmed to deposit these tokens, these coins, into the correct wallet address. And because I'm not selling these, coins right away, because I'm not, selling my cryptocurrency right away, guess what I have to pay on mining these coins? 0%. Because I did not, engage in a taxable event such as, selling them for profit. Now, that day will come at some point, but as long as I keep those coins in my wallet and my tokens in my wallet, there's no taxable event for holding on to them. Now, I think it's unfair for transferring currency from cryptocurrency from one cryptocurrency to another is a taxable event. I think that's very unfair to tax it on the same level as a capital gains. You know, I understand that you might want to. I could understand a transaction fee of some sort, but and it really shouldn't be that because we pay gas fees and other which is another form of transaction fee, from the actual cryptocurrency itself. Yeah, so I do not like this this proposed legislation to basically take the fun out of cryptocurrency. you know but yeah, so I only look like this, you know what I'm saying? I'm not I'm not as dumb as I look. I just look like this, I can't help how I look. So yeah, so pretty much I done went through all kinds of tangents and everything. This is the longest video I've ever recorded now, and I don't intend to record another video this long ever again. Ever. Ever again. So I'm gonna, probably record 2 to 4 more videos and then call it a night, and then just schedule them to come out on different days. So this is your friend Glenn trying to help you make money work for regular people, because um that news about Meet Kevin panic selling his whole portfolio, crypto and stock. It was worth $20 million. He panic sold. We don't care about that. We care about regular people with regular, and I'm talking about worth $1 million or less. Really, really tired and really, really care about the people who are worth 100,000 or less, and 50,000 less, and 10,000 less. That's what I'm concerned about. Man, Kevin been rich before YouTube, and then Kevin even more rich by being a YouTube influencer, popular with the popular YouTube channel. So his people got him. You know what I'm saying? Let's get together, strategize, and try to get something cooking and get something going on. With myself and my friends. Which is you. You know, let's see what we can do. Um, hopefully, just by sharing all these different scenarios and examples and my experiences, that if nothing else, you can learn that, hey, you don't have to be an asshole to have money. You don't have to be a scammer. You don't have to beat anybody over the head for their money, or beat them out their money. You can just be legit, be a regular person, be strategic at both in both your career and your investments, and just move around and move right. Don't brag to nobody. Don't brag to nobody that you just cashed out $30,000 on a refi or a wholesale deal, or or anything like that. Just stay humble, and And let's get away from these really dumb um, fantasies about accumulating this insane celebrity wealth. Like, if you understood, what it's like to have just to have access to 30,000 bank, um, whatever in your 401k, whatever in your IRA, if and you're just making a regular salary like $60,000, you know, which by the way, black people just don't make $60,000. A lot do, a sizable number do, but on average, and again, don't believe me, just look this up. The average black man in this country makes about $40,000 to $41,000, and the average black woman makes about $37,000 to $38,000 per year. So do not believe anybody who tell you different, and don't be believing nobody who talking about they so independent and all this stuff, and they got so much money. If anything, you need to be questioning anybody and everybody just based on those statistics alone. You need to question everybody who's throwing money in the air. Because in reality, that's that kind of the wealth where that comes with throwing money in the air and everything. They probably don't really have it like that. They probably holding somebody else's money. But then if they do, I'm gonna tell you how rare that is. That's like one person in a neighborhood, where that's one neighborhood kingpin. And I'm not even talking about in the criminal element, but that applies too. So look, if you have $60,000 in your pocket, well, if you're earning $60,000 a year in legal paychecks at a legal job, and you have another 30 in the bank, I'm gonna even lower that. You have 20 in the bank, 10 in the bank. You're gonna look at things very differently. You're gonna feel very abundant. You know, um, all this driving Bentleys and all that silly stuff. That's nonsense. You don't need no Bentley. You don't even need no Benz. You don't even, all you need is a good running car, housing. You don't even need a good running car. But you need housing. You need a good plan. Most importantly, you need a plan. You need housing, and you need to stay out of prison. You do those things, you know. You do those things. I think you have a good opportunity to do well in life. Um, all this trying to, you know, get $1 million mansion and $3 million mansion home with, pillars that and the property look like a hotel or something. You don't need any of that. You know, you need to be. You just need enough money to you know buy all your necessities, to not owe nobody no money, and let's see, necessities, not owing any individual in the hood, and and just enough money where you have enough resources to be a blessing to your family. You know, because you just, I mean, it's tough to be black. It really is. It's tough to be black. It's tough to be Latino. You know, I don't think y'all like Latino or even Latinx. And my apologies. You know, but it's tough because when you're the one who got abundance, you're gonna have people asking you and requesting to live at your crib all the time, especially in your family. And you know, it's up to you how you want to work that out. But you know, I want to be able to have a open home for my family. You know, and so, but you can't forget about you know, um, your just personal principles of humility. You know, being humble, not being a braggart, not showing off. Um, but there's humility. There's a sense of humility in what you achieve, what you've been able to accumulate. But like you have to strive to be a good person before any and all that. And I think you have a really good chance if that's what your values are. Your values are more important than being the richest person on the block or anything like that. Just be authentic with people, be real, don't run your mouth, don't tell your business, and because you don't want to attract the wrong kinds of spirits and the wrong kinds of demons and the wrong kinds of vultures. So just think about that. Yeah, and I know it's a long video, but think about some of the things that were said, and peace out.